Welcome to our KRCG Football Friday Night online preview. This is week number 8 of the high school season, just 2 weeks away from beginning of district play. This week we will take our pregame show to Southern Boone High in Ashland, home of the Eagles. Trent Tracy's team is 4-3. Southern Boone will host the Versailles Tigers, both teams coming off big wins last week. Southern Boone beat Warsaw. Versailles picked up win number 3 on the road at Hallsville. We'll be live at Southern Boone for our 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. news this Friday. Always a great time with the Eagle mascot, the band, and all the sports in Ashland. Our sports writer Tom Leffler will be at the Jefferson City Battle game at Adkins Stadium. Tom, looks like really the game of the week. 6-1 Jeff City against 7-0 Battle. These are two of the best teams right here in mid-Missouri.
I think they are the two best teams, and it's not just the game of the week. I think it's the game of the season to this point. And it's going to have a playoff atmosphere. The great thing about this is two very good teams butting heads, but they both get to play the next week. It's not the end of the season. It's just a fun game for the fans especially, and a great barometer for these two teams.
Jefferson City comes in as the 5th ranked team in Class 5. They were Class 6, I should say. They've been pretty steady at that point. Battle is number 2 in Class 5, and they're 1 and 2 in our Mid-Missouri Prep Power Poll. Is that what you expected at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, pretty much. Battle I knew would be good. They had a lot of talent coming back. Brevin Tyler's having a fantastic year, both running and throwing the ball. I think he's got over 25 touchdowns between the two, through the air and on the ground. Jeff City, I thought they'd be good, but they're a little better than I thought they'd be. Gunner C was untested on the varsity level. He's had a great year at quarterback. I think it's going to be a whale of a football game. I look for Jeff City maybe to beat them, but it would not. I'd say it's a 52-48 edge, Jeff City.
The last time these two teams met was at Battle High School, and that happened to be the last time that Battle lost a football game.
It was 38-20, and they haven't lost since. They won 7 straight to end the season, of course, winning the Class 5 state championship. They're 7-0, of course, this year. 14 straight. It'll be interesting if Jeff City can put bookends on that winning streak.
I remember talking to Coach Ted LePage after that game, and he told me right after the game, he said, hey, we beat a really good team. Yeah. He thought Battle was very good at that point. I don't know if he knew that they were going to win a state championship good, but Battle is on their way again, and like you said, really have a lot of weapons and a fun team to watch.
Oh, they really do have a lot of weapons. They are fun. They're ranked 2nd in the state for some reason, Fort Osage. I don't know how you could be the defending Class 5 state champions, return all that kind of talent, and be ranked number 2, but you know, those rankings don't mean anything until the end of November.
Should be a great crowd out at Jefferson City's Adkins Stadium. Tom will be there, and I'll be there for part of that game too. The Elias Crusaders head to Kansas City, another very tough matchup with a bigger school, the Rockhurst Hawklets. Elias, of course, coming off their 2nd win of the season, beating Rockbridge in a low-scoring game. It was 10-7.
Yeah, both teams, you could look at it 2 ways, maybe a little bit of both. Struggling offense, very good defense. That's what we saw. Good for Elias. That's a big win over a team with a lot of talent. Certainly they have not put it together. Rockbridge, to me, has been the biggest disappointment of any of the area teams. They're 2-5. But playing Rockhurst, you're talking about a jump up. Rockhurst has lost 4 times. Don't be fooled by that. Right. The 4 teams they lost to are combined 26-1.
Wow.
And that one loss was by Harbor from Arkansas. They lost to Webb City.
Oh, okay.
And Webb City.
Everybody loses to Webb City.
Yeah, everybody loses to Webb City.
By a lot.
Webb City is not only the best team in Missouri, Class 4, Class 5, Class 6, period, but they could be perhaps the best team in the Midwest.
Isn't that amazing? And the Elias schedule really, Tom, has been brutal.
It really
they play
has.
Bigger schools every week just about, and this is, going to Rockhurst, no friendly atmosphere there.
No easy task. You know, I've been up there. I'm not going to be there Friday night, but I've been up there so many times through the years, seen a lot of Jeff City Rockhurst battles. It's a tough environment to play in. I think Elias will show up, and I think Rockhurst will have a little too much.
All right. Other games will feature on Football Friday night. The California Pintos travel to Osage to take on the Indians. Home games for a pair of Callaway County schools. South Callaway, they are 6-1, really having a good season, but they play a very good state-ranked Mark Twain team in Mocaine. And the North Callaway Thunderbirds, they will entertain Wright City in Kingdom City. And Tom, the Blair Oaks Falcons ranked number 2 in the Class 3 state poll this week, jumping up. They're also number 1 in our Mid-Missouri Prep Power Poll. The Falcons will finish the season against Warsaw and Versailles, both road games, Tom.
Well, you know, some road games are tougher than others. Going to Warsaw is not quite like going to Rockhurst, like we mentioned with Elias. Warsaw has really struggled. Once a great, proud program, but now they're 0-7. Have really not been competitive in any of those losses. Then they play Versailles, who's better. They're 3-4, but you think Blair Oaks would not have a problem with them. And then Blair Oaks will be the #1 seed in district.
Right.
They'll turn right back around. They could play Versailles back-to-back weeks, or it could be Boonville. You know, this is 3 weeks that Blair Oaks is going to play lesser competition, and that's good in a way. You can heal up some kids, but it really doesn't get you ready for the stretch run.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. You've seen a lot of high school football. Is that really not what you want to do at the end of the season? Whereas like a Elias team playing a really tough team towards the end of the year, getting them ready for district play. And Blair Oaks has played some tough teams already.
Oh, they have.
Good schedule, but not the last few.
Their schedule was front-loaded. They played their toughest teams in the regular season anyway, the first 6-7 weeks. And you know, playing Rocker, there's 2 ways to look at it. Playing those type of teams, you can get beat up, and it can hurt your confidence. At the same time, Blair Oaks is a really good tune-up for when you're going to meet those good teams down the road. But they've played them; they'll be okay. It's going to be pretty easy for them though the next 3 weeks.
Big Highway 54 bowl game. Fulton-Mexico rivalry heads to the home of the Bulldogs in Mexico. Both teams are 6-1. Pretty good years for both of these two teams.
Very good years, and you're going to see some of the best talent in the area showcased. This would be the game of the week if it weren't for Battle in Jeff City. You know, Fulton's got Travis Dean and Devin Mastick, a great 1-2 punch.
Outstanding.
And Mexico has their own 1-2 punch, and Carson Eckern, who's a wonderful football player on both sides of the ball, and Spencer Thomas is a very fine quarterback. A lot of talent there for Fulton. I think this is a bigger barometer game than for Mexico, because Fulton, they were 6-1 and they've blown out 6 opponents, but their one loss was by 49-50 points to Hannibal. That was obviously their toughest team to date, or to play to date. And it's going to be interesting if they can. Mexico is also very good, a good barometer game if they can really play with those good teams.
And that's their only loss too. Mexico's to Hannibal. I talked to Pat Kelly, the head coach of Fulton this week, and he said this Hannibal team, and he's seen them every year for the last 25 years, is the best Hannibal team he said he's seen. So this is another very, very good team that has beaten both Mexico and Fulton. Of course, we'll have all the highlights there.
A big difference, though. Mexico lost by 49 at Hannibal. Mexico lost by a touchdown.
Yeah, Fulton losing by 49 and Mexico by just that touchdown. That's right.
Yes.
Tolton Trailblazers 6-1. They head back to the home field this week, hosting Cuba. Another fine season for Chad Masters and the Blazers. Also this Friday night, 6-1 Centralia will host Monroe City, and Moberly at Boonville. Owensville plays host to Sullivan. Just a few of the games we'll have for you on Football Friday night. We'll have all the highlights and scores on Football Friday night, live at Southern Boone, 5 and 6. Tom will be over at the Jays in Battle, and we'll have a 20-minute highlight show starting at 10:15. We'll see you on Football Friday night.